Hello and welcome to today's practice. The focus of this practice will be to release any stored energy and tension within the neck and shoulders and the thoracic cage. Find a comfortable seated position, if you need to, sitting onto a bolster or a cushion, crossing your legs if that feels comfortable for you, and just resting your hands wherever feels good. You can gently close your gaze and start to breathe in and out through the nose, softening through the face, softening through the neck and shoulders, and bringing some length to your breath. Expanding through that lower rib cage as you breathe in. And you'll notice the noise around. And as you notice any sounds around you or coming through the audio, I want you to simply notice them without judgment and then let them pass through. When you're ready, opening the gaze, hands onto the knees. I want you to lift through the center body, lifting through the crown and stacking the head over heart over the pelvis. And just imagine there's this central pole running through the center of your body now. And I want you to take some gentle circles around that imaginary pole. And then with your breath, you might like to breathe in as you come forward and then breathe out as you soften back. And then as you become more comfortable, just bring a little bit more depth into the action and really lifting through the heart as you come forward and pressing back as you come back. And then when you're ready, back the other way. You just want to notice how the ribs feel, how the body feels. What is it telling you? Does this feel really good? Can you get a smooth motion? Does it feel a bit sticky in places? Maybe you're getting a really nice rib stretch through parts of the motion, and that's a really nice indication of where we might like to bring some more movement into our ribs. I'm stopping in the center here now. Hands just resting by your side, and as you breathe in, lifting the hands up to the sky, palms to touch, breathing out, bringing hands through the midline to heart center. Breathing in, reaching up back to the sky. Breathing out, hands back towards the earth. Breathe in, arms up to ceiling. Palms to touch, hands together. Coming back through to heart center. Breathing in, reaching up, opening through the chest, breathing out, hands back to the earth. Breathe in, reaching up, breathe out, breathing in, reaching up nice and high, and reaching out as you breathe out. Keep your hands to rest by your side and take a gentle lean to one side. And then as you do this, breathe into the side ribs and open up through this space. Breathe out. And as you breathe out, come over to the other side, reaching over, Breathe into side ribs and breathing out. And so in your own time, just going from side to side, and as you do with each breath in, feeling an opening through those side ribs. You might like to take a look towards the ceiling and extend that arm just a little longer. And then back to center. Bring your hands wide now, reaching them out by your sides. Let them travel. Bring hands to touch. Interlace the fingers and then reach the hands forward as you press back through the spine. So you're pressing back through the spine, and then take a few deep breaths here as you feel some opening through the back ribs. And then bringing the hands around to touch behind you. Again, interlace the fingers and then draw them towards the ground and lift through the heart center and opening through the chest. And as you breathe in, feel that opening through the chest. One more round of breath here. And then back to midline. Do some work through the neck now. Start to just gently move the head from side to side. Really gentle and slow movements, nothing fast. And then when you're ready, taking just to one side, and think about bringing your ear towards the opposite shoulder without lifting through that shoulder, and also depressing, bringing this shoulder on the opposite side down. If you need to, you might like to bring a gentle overpressure with the hand onto the head. Just making sure you don't experience any dizziness. If you do, just simply stop. And also if you experience any pins and needles or tingling sensations, just back off the stretch a little. Coming to the other side now, very slowly and gently. Remember, depressing the opposite shoulder, keeping some distance between the ear and shoulder here so that the shoulder doesn't creep up to touch the ear. Breathing into this stretch, a gentle overpressure if that feels good. And as you breathe, just imagine the breath being sent to this area of the body. Coming back to center, chin down to the collarbone now, or this chest, okay, into the center between the collarbones. And hand onto the head, and just a gentle overpressure if that feels good for you, feeling that stretch down the back of the spine. Deep breath in. And releasing the hand if you were using the overpressure. And now taking the chin away from the sternum, lifting up to the roof and letting your chin stretch right up. And just feel your breath as it travels through the throat. Coming back to the center now. Just make any small adjustments to make yourself feel comfortable. Now I'm going to ask you to take 2 fingers, index and middle finger, and place them onto your meaty part of the shoulder. And just start to give yourself a massage onto the shoulder. Find that really meaty section, and with a firm but comfortable pressure, just start to circle around. And you can try some sweeping motions. So there's no real right or wrong here. But what I encourage you to do is just play around through that shoulder. And if you find a spot where there's particular tension, I want you to press a firm pressure into this spot. And just breathe, holding that firm pressure, doing a trigger point release. Focusing on breathing into that particular spot as you press firmly, and continue to press for about 15 seconds or until you feel that relax off a little. And then you can just enjoy again that firm but comfortable pressure. If you need to, you can bring that ear towards your shoulder just to bring some stretch. But if you don't need that, just getting into that meaty part, doing whatever feels right. Sweeping motions from shoulder up the neck, circular motions, and then when you find that sensitive point, a firm pressure, breathing in, focusing on sending the breath to that point, and then releasing. Opposite shoulder now. So again, index finger and middle finger if that feels good. You might like to involve the ring finger as well. Again, there's no right or wrong. Simply just feeling the tension, getting some nice circular motions and some of those sweeping motions up and down the neck. Play around with your head position. Find what feels good for you. And then if you find an area where there's particular tension, bring in that trigger point. So generally 2 fingers pressing into that area. Breathing in nice and deeply as you send the breath to that point. Releasing and relaxing. And when it relaxes off, bringing back that sweeping or circular motion. And then again, if you find any of those trigger points, pressing in firmly again. Nice deep breaths as you let the muscle relax. And just resting hands. If you need to, just give your hands a little bit of movement to relax them. Bring your hands to heart center if you need. Relax the shoulders. Deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. I want to finish with a rib springing technique that helps you to bring the breath right down to the bottom of the lungs and to give those rib cage a really beautiful stretch. So bring the hands just to the base of the lungs, to the lower parts of your lungs. And depending, you might like to have your thumbs facing forwards or back behind. So up to you, whatever feels good. I'm going to place my thumbs forward today. And with your hands at the base of the rib cage, bring in a little bit of pressure to hug that rib cage together. And then as you breathe in, feel the rib cage press against the hands. And then as you breathe out, bring some pressure back through the ribs. Holding that pressure, breathing in. Then release the pressure off a little, breathing out, and then as you breathe out, squeezing, pressing that rib cage together. Hold that pressure there. Deep breath in. Feel those ribs spring against your hands, opening wide, and then as you breathe out, a gentle compression for the ribs. This shouldn't be painful in any regard. It should just feel that springing and that opening of the rib cage. And breathing out. Hands just to rest onto the knees again. Just a few gentle movements again, circling like we did at the start of this practice. Just feel what's shifted, what's changed for you. Notice any remaining tension. This gives us some clues as to our day-to-day posture. Just circling back in the other direction now. And also gives us an indication as to where we might like to stretch more. Okay, so if you're really feeling tight through the side ribs as you do this, those side to side actions are really beautiful. If you're feeling tight through the back, that releasing stretch through the back, or if it's through the front of the chest, just opening up through the chest. So just notice what feels for you. And then finishing off into the center. Deep breath in to lift the arms up overhead. Again, palms to touch. Hands to heart center. Deep breath in here. Thank you for sharing this practice. Any questions? Let me know, and I'll see you again in the next video.